All right, folks, welcome to Yak Math Videos for a very quick stats exam 13 and 14 review video. Thank you to Cliff Bar, Laura Bar, Starbucks, Quality Coffee, Chinatown, and Coffee Espresso. All right, folks, first one, this is a binomial distribution. Okay, so you're going to be given a formula sheet tomorrow, the binomial n choose k times p to the k times 1 minus p to the n minus k. Probability of less than 2 means 0 or 1. X is a field component. All right, so that goes in the old calculadora. There is your answer, as we talked about. 3 or more of the 25 components. 3 or more means greater than or equal to 3. Just means 1 minus 0, 1, and 2. We already have 0 and 1, so just figure out the probability of 2. Add those, your previous answer to 2, 3, 1, and subtract it from 1 because we want the complement. Find the mean and the standard deviation. The mean is n times p. The standard deviation is the square root of n times p times 1 minus p. All right, so there you have it. The batter gets a hit with probability 3-3-1. The batter will get 220 at bats. That's huge. We should use the normal approximation. So get n and your standard deviation. X is a hit. I want the probability that I get between 60 and 70. All right, so your first z-score when X is 60. There's your z-score. The area that corresponds with that z-score is 0329. Your second z-score, okay, the area that corresponds with that z-score is 3446. Subtract both of them to get 3117. The batter gets 59 or fewer hits. 59 minus 72.82. That's a z-score. 59 or fewer means I do keep that. All right. Moving on here, number 2, our favorite player, Ripley Press. That's probability of success, 0.448. Multiply it by 450 shots. Let X be the number of 3, should be 3-point shots he makes. That's the mean. That's the standard deviation. 2 standard deviation rules, simply the mean plus or minus 2 standard deviations. Okay, anything outside of that would be an outlier. Number 4, undergrad students go through all 4 years. Okay, pre-med program, get into medical school with that probability of success. N is 60. This is just a normal approximation again. All right, find the average, find the standard deviation. 30 or more, 30 is your X. Really small z-score, so 009 would be the area to the left. I want to be more than that, so I do 1 minus, so it's basically almost guaranteed. No more than 39. 39 is your X. Okay, this is your z-score. The area corresponds with the z-score of that, 2676, and I want less than or equal to that, so I keep it between 36 and 42, so you let X be 36 and you let X be 42. You get that z-score. First one's negative. Second one is positive, and you subtract the area between those two. To find the area between those two z-scores, you subtract. All right, 2 standard deviation rules, mean plus or minus 2 standard deviations. I would expect between 34 and 48, definitely. All right. Number 5 is all about Poisson. All right, malfunction is labeled as major when it shuts down the assembly line. 4.1, so that is kind of like, you know, an X bar if we have a sample there. But there's no confidence interval, so you're not using the X bar plus or minus z-score, you know, so forth. So you just need to know that the mu is 4.1 e to the negative mu over x factorial. All right. So between 3 and 5 inclusive means 3, 4, and 5. Just type all of that in the calculator as such. We did that one together in class. 0 or 1, okay, 0 or 1 gives you this. Low chance of that. More than one means I want everything but 0 or 1. I want everything but 0 or 1, which is 1 minus the last answer. All right, folks, moving on. We got some p-hats here. A sample of that population proportion. That means you use this formula. You just got to figure out what p-hat is. Z star for 95% confidence interval is 1.96. All right, just type that in correctly. 3.9% is the margin of error. That's your confidence interval. Okay, for the next one, there's your sample proportion. Plug that in. You get a margin of error of 0.20. Folks, because the lower bound is above 50%, this bill should pass. We should feel confident about it. Next one, you have a sample mean, so population mean. You got to have an N, an X bar, and a standard deviation as such. There's the formula we're using. Let's plug it in. Get a margin of error of 0.15 hours. So they should not make the claim because that upper bound does not go above 8. Does not hit 8. All right, folks, on the next one here, number 4. This, we have the males versus the females. All right, that's the data for the males. There's the data for the females. All right, using the, again, we have a sample mean, same formula as the last question. The males have a margin of error of 4.48. That is their confidence interval, 95% level of confidence. Females have a margin of error of 4.17. That is their confidence interval. There is barely overlap, so the highest female scores do beat the lowest male scores, so we cannot say for sure who the definitive winner is. Clinical trial question. All right, there's your p-hats. Plug it all in as such. Margin of error 3.6%. Notice that the lower bound is relatively safely above 70, so this should work. I forgot to give you that we want 50 working days, so your sample size is 50 in this next example. There's your X bar, your sample standard deviation, and your sample size. All right, margin of error is 0.53. Add it and subtract it. It's not a huge possibility. 6 1/4 is far less than 8. Not a huge possibility. All right, sample size question. There's the formula. Z star times standard deviation divided by margin of error. Remember, we always round up to the nearest person. You just need to know the Z score, Z star for 95%, and that's 1.96. All right, that goes up to 21. This one right here, 06 or 16, I forget what we got. I'm gonna put that at 48. 1.645 is the Z star for a 90% level of confidence. There we go. All right, next one. That's gonna go up to 133. And Willie Berry Deckham here. That's how many he should make. That's the standard deviation. Got rid of B. Said this is just a normal approximation again. X is a made free throw. We want greater than or equal to 60. Z score of 1.04. I want greater than that, so I do 1 minus, and that is our answer. All right, folks. This is your exam review video. Big day tomorrow. Yak Math Video signing out.